Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to another video, and this video happens to be a part of a mini crash course series of Fast API. So up till now we've done quite a few things. I'm gonna hook the videos up into the card if you want to follow them. So we've covered how you can build a lean lightweight server using Fast API, and how you can leverage some of their utilities and build a API endpoint from ground up. And another part of the video was where we built CRUD API endpoints. So in our case, we leveraged a lot of stuff from Pydantic models and Fast API itself. So the code that you see right in front of you is basically from that video. And this video is a continuation where we will be adding some validations to it. So I'll explain that in a bit. So what we have done here, we have a product list, which is empty, and we have a product interface. So what we're doing, we have built some API endpoints around, creating this product and getting a product list, get product by ID, and updating the product. So basic stuff around, CRUD itself. So, but in this video, we want to enhance the experience and the validation process because we're sending in some stuff within these APIs. For example, I'll take this particular endpoint where we are getting a product by ID. So here we're sending in the ID within the path parameter, but the user can set undefined, user can set, some negative number or just not send anything at all. So the goal is to refine these APIs and get the right kind of error messages when somebody tries to, send in some data that is, just not acceptable. Let's explore that a bit. So we have a few utilities that we can use within Fast API. The very first one, let's pick this use case for now, where we are sending in the ID within the path parameter. So in this case, we need to verify and, impose a check on this path parameter, which would be something like, your ID should be greater than 0. So how we can do that? So Fast API provides you with a path interface, which you can use to sort of refine and impose such checks. So here, what I'm going to do, so I have my ID definition over here, and all I need to do is to put is equal to and the path instance over here. So what it can do, it can take various, attributes. For example, it can take title, which acts as a metadata. You can add in description, which also complements to the metadata within the Swagger document, which comes as default with Fast API. So you can say, the ID of the product, nothing fancy. And with that, you can put in a check like GT, which stands for greater than, and you can put in 0. And that's it. You have yourself a check for a path parameter. So let's go ahead. All right, so the changes are reflected. Let's go ahead and check that out. So I need to go to, all right, so our server is working. Let's say /docs. Let me zoom it up for you guys. All right, this looks decent. So we go here and we say try out, and let's say I put in 0. Since the check is greater than 0, so this should give us an error. So when I execute it and I come down here, and here you see we have an error which says greater than. The location is ID and input should be greater than 0. So cool, like this is what we need. Perfect. All right, so what else? Also, this could have been done by just, a lot of you might have this question that why didn't we just put in like an if statement which sort of goes ahead and checks whether ID is greater than 0 or not. Again, it's a hassle. You're putting in the code, and if you have a utility method that sort of lets you, do everything that your custom code would do alongside with the proper error, then it's a win. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about So we talked about path parameter. Let's talk about query parameters. So here we have a API endpoint which says /products, and it returns us with products. So normally, such API endpoints which just returns all the data should have like pagination attached to it in terms of the UI. And for that, obviously, you need to come up with a few path parameters or query parameters. In most of the cases, it's query parameters. So it's something like page is equal to 1 or page is equal to 2. So this is what I mean by query parameters. So what we can do to introduce a query parameter, all you need to do is within the function's definition, all you need to do is put in page, and you can put in the type here. But to sort of impose certain checks on it, you have to import query from FastAPI since it's a query parameter. So path for path, query for query. Let's copy this. Let's come down here is equal to query. And again, you can put in the description over here. And you can say like the page, and you can say greater than 0. All right, let's go to our documentation, and here we are, get products, and there you see the description that we stated over here. So this would be represented as a part of the view, so it's kind of nice. And then we can put pagination query in terms of the page number, so you can put 1. This will work. But if you put in 0, this will throw you an error. And again, you see greater than, and the input should be greater than 0. Perfect. Also, one thing might be bugging you that, hey, the page is required. What if I don't want to, specify a page? Then again, pretty simple stuff. All you need to do is put in optional over here, and you're good to go. So furthermore, by stating optional is not enough. You have to state the value as none, as we discussed in our previous video. So you can accommodate that within the query section as well. So just like that, now our let's refresh it, and now you see that the required asterisk is gone and the page query parameter is optional. Perfect. All right, let's talk about the create endpoint. With sort of where we actually provide this endpoint with a product class interface. You can call it class interface, you can call it just interface, whatever you like. So we have certain attributes, and I believe we can still put a lot of checks around them. For example, in the ID, we can put a similar check around, should be greater than 0, shouldn't be undefined, shouldn't be negative. And for the name, we can add some sort of a max length. For prices, obviously we can, again, have the same kind of check that it should be greater than 0. And for description, we can have like minimum length, maximum length. So let's go ahead and do that. And to do that, we have a field instance that sort of helps us do that. And we can come down here and type in field, and we have a couple of attributes that we can leverage. For example, in this case, we have description and greater than 0. We don't need this. Perfect. And let's hit save. Then for name, we can type in description, name of the product, and min length 3 and max length 50. Perfect. For float, we can do a similar stuff around the price of the product should be greater than 0. And for the optional part, again, we can type in field, and we can add none over here to keep it optional. Oh, sorry. Perfect. And then we have the description of the product. It should be minimum length 3 and maximum length 50. So let's hit save, and let's everything. Okay, we cannot import field. So I made a mistake. Field should be imported from Pydantic models because they apply directly to the Pydantic model that we have used over here. All right, so the error should go away. Perfect. Let's go ahead and refresh. So post product, let's try this out. Let's say 1, and for name, let's say I just keep an empty string, and description is optional, and price is 1. So if I hit execute, I should get an error, and it says location name. String should have at least 3 characters because we have kept a check on name that it should be of minimum length 3. So this is how you can sort of leverage the field path and query instances to add validation to your models, to your endpoints, so that you have a more seamless and secure experience while building APIs, and you can offer the same experience to your users. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you there.